Everybody come see us on tour. We'll be in Columbus, Dayton, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Lexington, Kentucky, Burbank, California, and Honolulu. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. So here's what they're really afraid of. They're really afraid of RFK getting control of some of the government, especially that has to do with our health. And here he is talking to Tucker about what he's supposed to do in the Trump administration. Let's listen to it.
Wait.
Okay.
The fuck is that picture of, is that Tucker in a tennis sweater over his head? What is that?
No, they're at Mar-a-Lago and it's Trump.
That looks like Trump. They're in Mar-a-Lago, I think. That's Trump. Okay.
Oh, it's Trump.
And that is the best Trump. He's got
80s Trump was fire.
80s Trump. Yeah. There we go.
When you say, if I'm given this job, can you be, for people who aren't following this, can you be more specific about what job you're talking about?
President Trump has asked me to, he's asked me to do three things. He's asked me, in terms of the public health agencies, he's asked me, number one, to get rid of the corruption, rid of the conflicts, the agency capture phenomena that has turned these public health agencies away from public health, and their principal objective now is to advance the mercantile interests of the pharmaceutical companies.
Yes.
And he wants to get rid, number one, get rid of the corruption. Number two, return these agencies to the gold standard scientific research and evidence-based research, empirically based science that when you and I were kids, they were famous for around the world. They've lost that reputation now because they've been captured by industry. And then number three, to end the chronic disease epidemic. And President Trump has told me he wants to see concrete, measurable results within 2 years. And I promised him that I could do that. Now, whether that means as an HHS secretary or whether it means as a health czar within the White House, we haven't figured out yet. But one way or another, we are going to end the chronic disease epidemic.
Yes, that's what I say.
He will be the health czar, and he will get that fucking job done. I guarantee it.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
I'm hoping.
And why would anybody have a problem?
Why would you have a problem with that, right?
What is wrong with people?
I'm just hoping this means that we no longer have to ask our doctor about medication. If, shouldn't that be their fucking job? To figure that shit.
Yeah.
Ask your doctor if it's right for you. What? Should my doctor know if this is right for me? Why am I asking my doctor? It's all like to say 3 out of 4 people suffer from diabetes and they don't know it. Well, if you know it, why don't you fucking tell them? So here's what he says. The FDA's war on public health is about to end. This includes its aggressive suppression of psychedelics, peptides, stem cells, raw milk, hyperbaric therapies, chelating compounds, ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, vitamins, clean foods, sunshine, exercise, and anything else that advances human health and can't be patented by Big Pharma. If you work for the FDA and are part of this corrupt system, I have 2 messages for you. 1, preserve your records, and 2, pack your fucking bag.
Yeah. Awesome. It's just truth, right?
He knows how to do this too.
He's an expert.
He's done this, yeah. No, not just this. He's an expert.
Taken on regulatory agencies before and won.
Yeah, one.
Destroyed.
Yeah.
This will happen.
This is the reason why the Hudson River's cleaned up.
Correct. That was a shit show, and now it's one of the cleanest bodies of water in the country.
Yeah.
It's him.
It's him.
This is the first time I've ever had a friend who is a personal friend of a presidential candidate. And this person has no reason to lie to me. And they're like, he's the nicest guy. He's the most real dude.
I've been working with him
and
very
like
closely.
he's the guy you see talking that's the real guy.
Yeah, 100%.
I interviewed him and I was like entranced with him because, I didn't know what to expect. But man, he was on it. I tried to throw him with Project Monarch, and he knew all the conspiracy shit. He knew all of it.
Did you send him nudes afterwards?
Huh?
Because that's what female interviewers do.
Oh,
They
that
send them
one
nudes.
lady? Yeah. But I told my son, I go, I almost had a sex urge. I did. That's
Hey,
all
Roseanne,
gone.
horny again.
That's called Make Roseanne Horny Again. I think that's what that is.
It'll never happen, but it threatened. It threatened there like a little ding, ding, ding.
But by the way, back to this story. This guy is an assemblyman in New Jersey, right? And he said,
This happened.
This is real. He says, sources tell me top 5 CEOs of pharmaceutical companies are holding an emergency teleconference at 1 p.m. A lawyer has confirmed that everyone is in a state of panic, and that was the day after the election.
And you know what? They were all on Xanax.
I think they have. Actually, I think they have a pill for that.
Isn't it great to think that they're
scared? Yes. Yes. It is great. It is a great feeling.
Well, you know, just today, Kansas came out and they're suing Pfizer.
Well, yeah, Kansas is suing Pfizer.
Yeah.
So let's say.
We've had enough of their shit.
And by the way, the
We're
misogynist tapped a woman, amazingly, for chief of staff.
So you're telling me Trump is hiring a female to be...
So all his supporters must be pissed.
No.
Because they're misogynists, right?
That's what a misogynist he is. He wants to be the first one to fire a head chief of staff as a female.
Right.
That has to be what that is. By the way, he also hired the first female head of the CIA, who used to be a torturer, but you gotta break some eggs to make an omelet. And she shattered that glass ceiling, and then she picked up one of those shards of glass and started torturing someone. All I'm saying is he's pro-women. That's all I'm saying.
I like that he's bringing people from the outside. We need more of that RFK Jr. Because, you're like, oh, I'm going to get rid of the swamp people. But if you're in a swamp, you're only surrounded by swamp people. And you take out one swamp person, another swamp person just pokes her head up. So it's very interesting. There's this thing I would love if everyone, I'm not going to talk long, but it's called the SPARS pandemic simulation. Yeah. And you guys should study that because it's basically role-playing a lot of stuff. And one thing it talks about is everyone gets so crazy, they throw somebody under the bus, which they allude to as it's Fauci. But then what's going to happen, they say, is that the pharmaceutical companies are going to start a giant fund. And everyone's going to sue them. They're going to drain the fund. And then according to this simulation, the U.S. government fills the fund up again. So watch for that. Because, this thing's gotten everything right so far, so it's something to check out.
What simulation?
It's called the SPARS pandemic simulation.
Okay, we'll thank you very much for pointing that out. Fucking maniac who's making shit up. All right, here we go. Hey, look for the julep configuration. Everybody look that up. Just fucking look it up. And... No, anyway, here, one of Trump's transition team managers went on CNN to talk about Bobby Kennedy's role, and here's what happened.
Is RFK Jr. He said that Trump has promised him control of the public health agencies, HHS, which would be also, CDC, FDA, USDA, all of these agencies. Is that true? Has Trump promised him basically the HHS job?
So I spent 2.5 hours this week with Bobby Kennedy Jr. And it was the most extraordinary thing because let's face it, we've all heard on the news all sorts of sort of snarky comments about him. And I said, so tell me, how's it going to go? And he said, why don't you just listen to me explain things? And what he explained was when he was born, we had 3 vaccines and autism was 1 in 10,000. Now a baby's born with 76 vaccines because in 1986, they waived product liability for vaccines. And here's the best one. They started paying the people at the NIH, right? They pay them a piece of the money for the vaccine companies. Wait a minute, let me finish. And so all of these vaccines came out without product liability. So what happened now? Autism is 1 in 34.
Okay,
Amazing.
neither of us are doctors.
We are
Vaccines
not.
are safe. RFK, I mean, he...
Okay, neither of us are doctors, but I can say vaccines are safe because I'm a newly hired anchor on CNN. What the fuck? What is that? Neither of us are doctors, but guess what? I'm going to pretend like I am and just say that. And go ahead, Dr. Drew. You're a doctor, aren't you?
I am. And unfortunately,
Not like Dr. Dre doctor. You're like a real doctor.
go fuck yourself.
Is it Trey?
Wait, so
Is it Trey?
So he's not representing the real core issue. The way RFK says it, and I think it's exactly correct, which is he just thinks vaccines should go through the same process of review as any other medication.
So they don't have placebo double-blind
Nothing.
studies, right?
The standards are totally different than for all the other things I'm allowed to advise you to put in your body. There's nothing.
Right.
Completely different standard.
Yes.
Just bring it
For
up
babies.
for vaccines. Let's bring it up to the standard.
So they don't do that because they say it would be unethical to do that, correct?
No, unethical was the old thing. Then I used to hear, well, vaccines are lost leaders. They would never be able to make vaccines. It'd be too expensive, and they don't make any profit on them anyway. This is what I was.
Yeah, so what I say, I remember when I'm like, well, if I get myocarditis, I'm going to sue. And they go, you can't sue.
That's right.
Because they passed a law saying if you get injured by a vaccine, you can't sue. And I'm like, well, why would they pass a law like that? And they said, because it's safe. Well, why would they need liability shield from lawsuits if they were all fucking safe? They wouldn't have to worry about lawsuits.
Why would they be so worried about lawsuits or unforeseen consequences if they'd studied it properly?
That's right. And they haven't, is what you're... No, they haven't. No. Okay.
That's like them saying we should make a law to make it illegal to have voter registration.
What are you, racist? Just because they have them in India and every Latin American country in Africa, everywhere else in the world, in fact, except here, that doesn't mean you're not racist, right? Come on.
I hate everybody.
Everybody, come see us on tour. We'll be in Columbus, Dayton, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Lexington, Kentucky, Burbank, California, and Honolulu. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.